Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Clockedin with me, your host, Jordan Edwards. I'm thrilled to have you tune in as we dive into the dynamic world of productivity, success, and stories of incredible individuals who've mastered the art of getting things done. Whether you're commuting, hitting the gym, or just relaxing at home, this podcast is the go-to source for inspiration and actionable tips to level up your productivity game. I'm on a mission to unravel the secrets of those who seem to effortlessly manage their time and achieve their goals. So if you're ready to clock in and unlock your full potential, you're in the right place. We've got a lineup of amazing guests, industry experts, and thought leaders who will share their insights and strategies to help us crush your to-do list and make the most out of every moment. Get ready to get inspired, motivated, and equipped with the tools you need to supercharge your productivity. This is Clocked In with Jordan Edwards. Let's dive in. Hey, what's going on, guys? We got a special guest here today. This is Health is Wealth, episode 5 with Sang Kim. And I wanted to do this episode, and we've been doing this for the past couple months. We usually do like one a month. And the reason for that is because I'm a coach. So some of the main pillars of Edwards Consulting are mental health, physical health, community service, philanthropy, spirituality, and relationships. And Sang is also a coach. And the reason for that is I found that Sang has a very interesting view on the world. And it causes you to live a more expansive life, and it causes you to live a better life. So I'm here with Sang, what's going on with that background too?
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for mentioning it. Well, over here, we have my friend Remy Adelecki. He's a former Navy SEAL and actor and author. He'll be one of our guest speakers at a charity event that I will be involved with. I'm a board member and director of Beat the Streets Toronto, and we're a charity. We're an organization that's getting kids off the streets and
Oh,
getting them
wow.
into different programs, education, and through the sport of wrestling. So they're learning discipline through the sport of wrestling, and there's opportunity for mentorship and getting them into different jobs and really, I think ultimately we're producing leaders
Yes.
to give back, into their communities, and it becomes a full circle. I'm very passionate about it because I was one of those street kids growing up in Scarborough, which is the east end of Toronto. I call it the Bronx of Toronto, right? And
Yeah.
and wrestling saved my life many times and got me out of trouble. When I was bullied, and you had to be tough growing up in Scarborough in the early '70s and early '80s. So, I'm very thankful for the sport of wrestling. And then we have John Irving. He's an Academy
Yeah.
Award-winning novelist, and he happens to be living in Toronto. And
Oh,
he was a
wow.
collegiate wrestler. I believe he went to Princeton, and he's a big advocate. He's waiving his fee to talk to us, and our goal is to raise $100,000, and
Oh, wow.
we're getting very close to have raised $90,000, and we've got about
Oh,
160 tickets sold for the event. And I'm just so ecstatic that I'm, going back to my roots and helping out my former coach and founder of Beat the Streets Toronto, John Park.
that's incredible. And I love that because one of the pillars I was mentioning is community service and philanthropy. And majority of the time, and I know this is health is wealth, and we're going to be talking about saunas today, and we'll get into that. But I just wanted to spend the first couple minutes here, kind of having this other discussion because the thing is that we're all versatile creatures. We all like different things, and we have different groups that we want to support and different areas. And I appreciate you sharing your philanthropy component because there's so many times where we don't ever find that. And I think it's really powerful that you're sharing it. And I'll definitely throw it in the show notes. And we'll try to put it out actually probably next week so that people can still donate and still push any possibility if people are interested in that. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for that, Jordan, and that's awesome. And I just want to say, by the way, your hair looks very, very fantastic and wavy today. What's going on?
I actually got it. I actually got it done in Porto, Portugal, because I'm currently traveling for the 7 weeks.
Right?
And this guy, like my hair was getting out of control, and this guy literally cuts my hair. Guess how much it was?
How much?
Just guess. It
Uh, €5.
was 10 euros. I've
That was
never
my
had a
second
haircut.
guess. Yeah,
It was
second guess
10
nearly 10.
euros. And then, so with a normal haircut, I usually tip like $5, $10. So I just tipped the guy 3 extra euros, and he started speaking English. It was wild. He was so over the moon because he did such a good job. You could tell this is one of the guys that really like cared about what he was doing. And
Well, you look very slick. I've got, I don't say this a lot to other men, but it's very sexy on you, by the way.
I appreciate that, saying. I appreciate that, saying. I
Good
appreciate
thing we're
that.
here. Otherwise, I'd be touching your hair and looking at it because it looks fantastic.
I appreciate that. Yeah, he did me well. He did me well. But yeah, we're here for health as well. We're going to talk about really what are the benefits, because over the past 4 episodes, we've done 4 already, we talk about morning routines, we talk about all of these different things and reasons and easy effective ways, DNA test, easy effective ways that people can really change their lives. So for you, saying, what has saunas done for you, and like, why do sauna? Like, is this a new thing? Have people been doing it? Like, tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's look at the modern origin of saunas, right? I mean, it's the Scandinavians, right, have really popularized it. And if you have some Scandinavian friends, from Norway, Finland, Sweden, right, in particular, right, you look at their skin, right, it's clear, they look very healthy, right? So this is part of their culture, right? Like to the point
Yes.
where Finnish people, I was watching this documentary on saunas one day, and the Finnish people, okay, so you walk in, just say you're there, you walk into the sauna, and there's your mom, your dad, your uncle, your sister, everyone's naked. And you walk in, right? So culturally, it's a normal thing that they do as a family, with friends, and they're very comfortable in their own skin. Plus, the physiological benefits of saunas are just unbelievable, according to many of these studies, right? So
Yeah.
it is very interesting.
Absolutely. I actually went to Iceland, and then we had they had saunas, all of that stuff. And you could tell the Americans were always a little uncomfortable because the
Yeah,
Europeans are like, let's go. Like, and
yeah,
but there's like not any weird undertone to it. It's just like I'm
yes,
just doing the sauna and I'm doing the cold plunge, and it's like it is what it is. Like, and it's a
yes,
very interesting lifestyle because as you start seeing it, and we're seeing it more with like the hot exposure. Jesse Itzler talks about it a lot with the hot exposure to the cold exposure, back
yes.
and forth, and it just gets the body into this state of, oh my, what is going on?
Yeah, yeah, and you look at I mean, there's just so many benefits of it. I mean, so my sort of first exposure to saunas was probably, when I was probably 12 or 13 years of age,
Oh
right?
wow,
So I'm cutting weight for a wrestling tournament, right? So let's say back then I was cutting 4 or 5 pounds to make weight, right?
yeah,
So back then, we would have to cut weight, and then we'd make weight, like let's say at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? You make weight, and if you're overweight, you're in your garbage bag, or if you're at a higher end tournament, maybe the hotel has a sauna, and then you
yeah,
go to the sauna, and then I would count the drops of water, right,
yeah.
to know how much weight I would lose, right? so,
Really?
so that was my first experience with saunas, is cutting weight for wrestling, right?
Yeah,
So it wasn't for this idea of physiological benefits. I didn't know anything about the physiological benefits back then,
Yeah.
but it served its purpose, right? But
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, saunas have always been this cool area where you get to, you're not doing anything. Like the idea of a sauna is literally you open it up, it's hot inside, you go inside and you just sit there for 20 minutes, sweat a little bit,
yeah,
and you come out and you feel exponentially better. And the coolest thing is that you don't the biggest difficulty I find with fitness is that you have to run. Like whether you're running or lifting the weights or doing any of these activities, this is the one activity where you legitimately sit there. You can sit there and do the same thing you would do outside of it, but inside of it. It's a very interesting because the
yeah,
benefits are so outrageous.
yeah, yeah. Let's dig into that a little bit deeper. Here, there's a lot of talk about dementia, Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah.
As the population ages, and our listeners, our friends, we all know somebody that has a relative or a friend that may be suffering from these areas of brain issues, right? And
Yeah.
so here's a 20-year sauna study by Dr. Yari Luukkonen. And basically, the results were such that they stated sauna bathing is associated uh, with a decrease of 53% of a chance of you getting dementia
Oh,
over the
wow.
next couple of decades if you basically did the sauna roughly 3 times a week in the
Yeah.
sauna for that 15 to 30 minutes, right? And then you had a 53% less chance of getting dementia or Alzheimer's in the next couple of decades.
Wow.
Sit on that for a bit,
Yeah. I mean, I
right?
actually, funny enough, before we decided on this topic, I ended up going home. So my parents ended up visiting me in Tampa in January.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna go home, like we went on this cruise, like this family cruise in March, and then I was gonna be in New York for a week. Because then we're on this European trip right now. So I
Right.
was gonna spend a week in New York. And Madison really likes saunas, like my fiance. She like loves the
Nice.
sauna. And so I told my parents, I was like, because I knew about all these benefits, I was like, you guys need to get a sauna. Like, you should get a sauna. And it sounds crazy,
Yeah.
but for like, you can get one for like $400, which is just like a zip up one. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Or
Yeah.
there's like the $2,000 one, which is like the full wooden inside in your house, like super easy.
Yeah.
And my parents ended up, it turned out that my grandma actually had a sauna for the
Right.
past 15 years in
Right.
her house, and she lives 20 minutes away. And my dad ended up getting the sauna from it, brought it into the basement so that when we got there, the sauna was there, which was cool.
Wow.
So now they're sauning 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
times a week because I'm
Yeah.
like, benefits are insane. You guys are getting a little bit like you should really prioritize your health. And there's not too many of us that do. And it's such a
Yeah.
simple way to do it. Because
Yeah.
I know if you guys really think about it, when they do like, what's the cost, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're 80 years old, you have dementia, and your life is just going downhill.
Yeah.
If you just
Yeah.
sat in this sauna
Yeah.
20 minutes, like you know what I mean, and you feel
Yeah.
better, and
Yeah.
saying run through 100 other benefits, it's yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And you think about the practicality of it, right? Like you said, you could go buy one of these dry saunas for $400 and you zip up, your head sticking out, and your
yeah,
body's getting super hot and warm, right? So you
yeah,
could do it, or you can join, like here in Canada, we have Good Life Fitness, and a lot of these
yes.
places, right,
Every
have
gym has one.
saunas. So
Yeah,
you pay
and
your monthly membership, right? And you have access, right? Or the YMCA, or buy a cheap one,
yeah, or you're right because I'm a member at Crunch. That's like one of the gyms I go to,
yeah,
and they have saunas.
Yeah,
And I believe Sang knows this, but like Tony Robbins talked about it, just because all the benefits of saunas. If we put, if you just go to the gym and just sit in the sauna and just do that as your workout, eventually you'll start working out, but you build the habit of going to the gym.
yeah,
So it's a
yeah.
fantastic habit, regardless.
Absolutely. And while you mentioned that, yeah, I was just looking at some studies around post-workout sauna activity, right?
Okay.
So let's say you do a 30-minute workout at the
Yeah.
gym or an hour workout, and then you do a sauna afterwards for,
Okay.
let's say, 15 to 20 minutes at 101 to 102 degrees Fahrenheit. So what these studies have shown is that it enhances the training response. So it increases your VO2 max, right, which is your body's ability to take on oxygen and to use it. And it also increases your lactate threshold, which means your ability to deal with lactic acid in your body and to push through the pain
Oh, wow.
of hypertrophy and you're
You're
stiff.
not as sore.
Yeah, right. And so the heat actually can increase the volume of the workout and the intensity of training without the training,
Wow.
right? So you do your workout and then you do a post sauna, therefore you're not having to go to the sauna on another day. So from a practical perspective, if you're working
Yes.
out 3 times a week, add in, like, let's call it a cool down, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a cool down, it's like a hot down, right? Right? Let's get hot again for 15, 20 minutes. Make sure you're hydrated, obviously, right? Right?
Yeah.
And then you can extend your workout. So it's like working out, getting the physiological benefits of working out without the pounding.
Wow.
Save your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's profound. It's basically like, say I did chest one day, so I'm doing 10 reps of bench, then I do 10 incline, and then instead of me doing dumbbell bench press or some machine, I would just do the sauna and it intensifies what I was doing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like
That's
I would
wild.
use it as as an add-on to what you're already doing,
Yeah.
right?
And especially if you're already sweaty and like you've
Yeah,
already worked out,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense not to hop in the sauna. Now,
yeah.
aren't there some benefits in regard to like heart health?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you think about what the sauna does, right? So your body's at this temperature,
Yes.
98.6 degrees, give or
Yeah.
take, right? And now we're elevating it to 100, 101, 102-ish, right? So your blood vessels are getting larger, right?
Okay.
It's moving blood around. And you think about the benefits of when blood is moving around your body to different
Yes.
areas, maybe where it didn't get the blood.
Yeah.
Think about the benefits of all the nutrients in the blood getting to places where it hasn't been before,
Oh, wow.
right? You think about it from that practical perspective. Yeah, there's huge benefits. Like your blood plasma volume goes up, so it
Okay.
helps with your cardiovascular health. It can help decrease the risk of diabetes because now your body's processing sugars better. Um, there's a 2021 study that by doing saunas can preserve muscle mass
Oh, wow.
and therefore increase your health span, right? So, there's a lot of studies done on muscle mass and longevity, right? So
Yes.
muscle mass is associated with strength, and actually, like, grip strength is um, is connected to longevity, which makes sense, right? You don't fall if you got a good grip strength, right? And then you don't break your
Yeah.
hip, and et cetera, right? Right.
Well,
So having this strength um, is connected to longevity, and the saunas will help with that as well.
yeah. I was actually reading a book, like Die with Zero, and you start to think about it. It's by Bill Perkins, and he basically talks about what is the most useful activities. Like, you know what I mean? It's the idea of picking up a child. So it's like you want to have the muscle and the back muscle to be able to do that, or to be able to
Yeah.
stand up. Like, there's these
Yeah.
little things where we take them for granted majority of our life. And then
Yes.
when we're at the very end, we're like, oh, wait, this is important. Can I get my legs extra strong? And it's like, no, you should have done your squats. Like, you should have done the
Yeah.
workouts. But regardless, if you just start with, I should have saunaed, like, it's such an easy
Yeah.
task in because you're already sitting there. It's
Yeah.
not like go work out in the sauna. It's like you're already sitting there. And then once you get the gym routine, but it's the idea of showing up constantly.
Yeah, yeah. As well as I do, Jordan. When we're coaching our clients, I'm really focused in on financial advisors that I'm coaching, and
Yeah.
and entrepreneurs. What I find is that they have big goals, and if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the health, it's just a little bit harder to achieve those big goals. So I
Uh,
think a lot of entrepreneurs are really down to being super fit. And I think the mindset is of a professional athlete. Treat
yeah.
your body like a professional athlete. Train when you need to train, recover when you need to recover, because you need this energy to achieve these massive, abundant goals.
Yeah. I would say 100%. And a majority of the time, when you might be listening to these health is wealth episodes or we're in coaching sessions or any of these, what people don't realize is we already know the right things to do. It's so simple, but we just want to over complex everything where it's like, let's make this as confusing as possible. And it's like, no, if you do this activity, you will increase your life. And that's one of the major reasons I wanted to do these podcasts and I continue doing these health as wealth is because for me, I'm constantly learning new things. And a lot of these learnings I share with my clients and I share with the people I know. And it's just super valuable when you sit there and you go, wow, can reduce dementia by 50%. I'm pretty sure there's another stat regarding heart health where it can reduce heart attacks by a significant amount as well. And it's just the benefits are insane.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, there are a number of studies showing using the sauna 3 to 5 times a week for, let's say, around the 30-minute mark will reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease by 30, 40, 45%. There's this, it's a significant number, right?
Yeah,
And there's different studies that you can cite, but
a hun-
I think we need to pay attention to it because it's something that's readily available for people, and it's not astronomically expensive, right?
yes. And the other thing that people don't realize when you go in the sauna, like I have a Fitbit. So like when I go in, I can see my heart rate. And my heart rate usually jumps up to like my resting right now is at 52. So a range between like 45 and 50. And it usually like will get up to 120, which is equivalent to me almost sprinting and like getting a jog going because you're in this elevated state and people don't realize these benefits that it's
Yeah,
simulating all that while you're just sitting there.
yeah, 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 exactly. And you think about, the average American is not very active, right?
Not at
So,
all.
so if the average American isn't very active, and let's say that you were medically cleared to do a sauna, right? And once again, we should always reiterate that this is not medical advice. Not everyone. There are risks of going to saunas if you've got pre-existing conditions, right? So you want to be mindful of that, right? For
Yes.
example, if you got eczema or if you got psoriasis, like visible skin issues,
Yeah.
it might irritate those areas of the skin, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
and that's something to pay attention to, right? But I mean, you think about the other benefits. Why not use a sauna to cleanse your skin? Because now your pores are opening up and flushing out the dirt and
Yes.
toxins, and
Yes.
it's getting flushed, right? And you think about that, and then you're not using chemicals to do it. You're doing this in a natural
Natural.
way by elevating temperature and moisture, right? I
Yes.
mean,
Yes. And the thing I would say, if you guys aren't like completely in on the sauna yet, it's really just the biggest barrier to any of us is how difficult it is to get to, right? So if the sauna is like 10 minutes away, probably likely to do it. If the sauna's in your house, you're even more likely to do it. If the sauna, like, you know what I mean? So if we can figure out how to integrate this habit, because I was doing a group coaching today,
yeah,
this morning, like where we did group, and we talked about habits.
yeah,
And the important thing was, how do you acquire new habits? Well, you have to trade out bad ones. So what does that mean? And I was talking to a couple people about this, that basically this one guy's like, yeah, I want to go to the gym. And I'm like, well, how often you go to the gym? And he's like 3 to 4 times a week. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I'm like, but how often do you sleep? And he's like, well, I sleep every night. I'm like, okay. How often you eat? I eat every day. And I'm like, okay. So if we have the habit, why don't we work out every single day? Not a good way or a bad way, but it's just like you don't
yeah,
have to always do the sauna, but you could literally work out sauna, whatever. But you start to
yeah.
get in the routine of like what the activities are, and then you add them in and you supplement them out for other things because it really helps your mindset get to that peak performance, like you were saying, as an athlete.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of us, we need to change the definition or the meaning of a workout, right? So this is one thing that I learned from Tony Robbins, and probably mentioned this before, but it's such an important mindset. For me, I had to set an easy rule for me for it to be a workout. All right.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you some comparison. So when I was doing half Ironman training, the
Yeah.
70.3, right? And, the swim, the bike, and the run. And let's say I had 7 workouts planned for the week, right? And if I only did 6 out of the 7 workouts, I considered myself a failure. So my rules were really strict. My internal rules were I must do 7 out of 7 workouts and then I will be happy. That was my mindset, right? So I
Yeah.
was wondering why I was so unhappy training all the time. I'm thinking, what the F am I doing this for? I'm
Yeah.
miserable, right? And then met Tony Robbins and went to Date with Destiny, spent whatever, 6 nights, 14 hours a day, a date with Destiny, all this crazy stuff. I did it twice actually. And 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 what I realized is that my rules were too hard. So I had to make my
Yeah.
rules for working out easier. So my
Yeah.
instead of being 7 out of 7 to be happy for my workouts for the week, I changed my rule to all I have to do is move my body for 4 minutes and I'm at peace. I have moved my body. I've done something with my body. It's considered my workout of the day. And now,
Yes.
now some people are thinking, what the heck are you talking about? That's not a workout. No, 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 that's not the point. The point is that because I made my rule easier, I became more happier. I wasn't hard on myself. I wasn't punishing
Yes.
myself. Of
Yes.
course, my goals were to do X, Y, Z at the 70.3 half Ironman, but my
Yeah.
rules changed, and actually, I enjoyed working out more because I
Yeah.
wasn't harming myself. If I missed one workout I did 6 out of 7 while you're working, while you're busy. That's pretty freaking good, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't need to punish myself because the 4 minute rule was what was giving me the happiness, not the
Yes.
7 out of 7 workout rule that was really tough to maintain.
Yeah.
Does
Because,
that make sense?
yeah, you want to make it as easy as possible to win. and as
Yes.
hard as possible to lose. So,
Yes.
but a normal mindset is, oh, well, 7 out of 7, that's expected. Okay. If that's expected, then what's a loss? Everything's a loss. So it's really easy to lose,
Exactly.
really hard to win, and it doesn't even feel like a win. So it's when you do the
Exactly.
inverse on that, it really helps the mindset. Like that guy I was telling you about the gym. I go,
Yeah.
dude, 10 push-ups a day. He's like, what? I'm like, 10 push-ups a day, that's the gym for you. Like, if you want to do more, do more. But if you only have to do 10 a day, you'll get the habit.
Yeah.
Because if you just do it every
Yeah.
day, you start building it.
Yeah.
Originally, it was go to the gym and just stand there, like don't even do anything, just step inside the gym. And it's like
Exactly.
these super simple things where we just develop these habits because it's not like you could buy the sauna, have the sauna in your house, amazing, but like, what if you don't use it? It's because you
Yeah.
don't have the habit. But the important thing I want to bring up is that a majority of us do have habits. They might not be good, they might be bad, they might be bad, they might be good, but a lot of us all of us have habits. Like,
Yeah.
so me and Sang have the habit of hopping on Health is Wealth once a month. Like, you know what I mean? We have the habit of doing all these different things. Some people have the habit of watching Netflix for 2 hours. So if you just supplement that where you're like, I'm just going to watch Netflix in the sauna, fantastic. That's a great start. I
Yeah.
just wanted to
Yeah.
bring up the importance of habits because even if you get the sauna and you understand the importance of it, if you're not able to implement that into your day to day, it becomes
Yeah.
very difficult.
Yeah, yeah, and we talk about Tony Robbins a lot. I mean, obviously, he's had a big influence on you, has a big influence on myself. I spent a lot of time in that community and continue to do so. He talks about this net time, no
Yeah.
extra time, NET, and you think about it, right? So if you don't have no extra time, but you're going to the gym, so tack on the sauna at the end. So it's part of going to the gym. Now it's a two
Yes.
for one deal. You get your workout and you get your sauna at that one location,
Yes.
right?
Make it
So
as
you got
easy as
no extra time.
possible.
So figuring out how you can combine things together and group them together to save you time. So you didn't have to travel just for the sauna. You were there anyway,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. No, I love the no extra time idea. And it's super important. Like, for example, prior to this podcast, me and Sang haven't talked in a little while. So we just start going. And what I realized was we should just start the podcast because if we start talking, then we can get more clips, in which case
Yeah.
those clips can amount to maybe impacting someone positively. And
Yeah.
it's just like, why would we talk
Yeah.
without the record on if we're going to have the conversation anyway? So
Yeah.
it's the idea is how do you make it as easy as possible? Like another great example of that was I wanted to meet more higher level people. So you think, how do you do that? Well, I guess you could reach out to people and set up information times and do all this stuff, or just make a podcast. And on the podcast, I'm forcing myself to meet new people and have these deep conversations and to learn about other topics. And I'm like, whoa. So it's a forced learning for me where I
Yes.
expand my network drastically. And like Sang has come and spoke with my group. Like I deepen the connection with a lot of the people because we find out other ways to reconnect.
Yeah. 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 Yep. Absolutely. Just going back to the sauna once again, because that was our primary topic today. Well, you think about how you feel after the sauna, right? So how do you feel? I mean, I feel okay. I feel sweaty. I feel relaxed. I feel less stress. I feel like
Yeah.
the gorilla or whatever I was thinking about is off my chest, off my back. My blood is pumping, and actually, I feel ripped. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I shedded maybe some fat off. You know that feeling where you just feel lighter.
Yeah.
Well, of course you are. You're dehydrated a little bit, but it's this calm and ease feeling that I love about it, right? And obviously, you want to hydrate afterwards and have some electrolytes, but that feeling reduces stress. And you think about stress as the silent killer. Yes. stress equals increase in cortisol levels, the hormone, the
Yes.
stress hormone, and then that increases the probability of turning on your suboptimal genes. So you get these suboptimal poor genes, they get turned on if you're in an elevated state of stress. And then you get all these weird things happening to your body, potentially illness, disease.
Yes.
Because so so you think about it, I mean, a root cause of a lot of illness is elevated cortisol or stress.
Okay.
So sauna, you could look at the sauna as one of the methods to potentially nip away at the root cause of illness and disease. Like you think about that, you go, wow, it's not just sweating in there. Like I'm talking about potentially preventing so many of these illnesses that we see later on, right?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
present.
like I was looking up some of the benefits, and it's literally reduced stress, improved sleep, improved immune function, weight loss, ease lower back pain, clears your pores, skin health, like improved metabolism, reduced inflammation, increased endurance. Like it's all of these positive things. And like you said, like you just got to figure out how to fit it in your day and how to get access to them. And a
Yeah.
lot of public gyms have them. Like
Yeah.
the Crunch membership's like 10, $20 a month. Like it's like, why are we not doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I haven't, and this is great because I haven't been in the sauna for some time. So it's actually inspired me um, to get back in there. And
Yeah.
I've got my cold shower routine nailed down, and it's really helping me out because I'm a low dopamine type of
Yeah.
person, with ADHD tendencies, which is very common amongst entrepreneurs.
Oh,
More common
really?
than you think, right? And the saunas I think are going to be really helpful because I'm dealing with an atrial fibrillation right now of my heart, so my atrium is not in sync with my ventricles pumping properly, so there's a
Oh,
fluttering
wow.
effect, right? So my blood pressure is a little bit low, so I'm seeing a bunch of doctors on how to best treat this. Like I'm on a beta blocker, which I don't like. It
Yeah.
causes fatigue, right?
Okay.
I'm only on half a dose, thank God, but it's helping to reduce my heart rate so that my chances of getting a stroke go down.
Oh,
When the heart
wow.
is in fluttering mode, right? So yeah, so this is, I've been very healthy all my life, but up until recently, I'm dealing with this. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I'm
I
very
appreciate
open
you
about it.
sharing that
Yeah, yeah,
because I think it gives a better understanding of to everyone that we're not superhuman. And even though as much as we prepare, we still have to continue the maintenance and continue working on the machine. So it's kind of funny that the sauna is a good reminder of it.
yeah, yep, absolutely. And I'm yes, and it's something that I'm going to be adding in to my routine once again. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
sure.
how do you think people should like implement the sauna or get this heat exposure in their life? Like what do you think are the best ways of doing that?
Yeah, I think, first of all, you got to manage the risk first,
Okay.
right? And make sure, do a little bit of research, talk to your doctor, say, am I at any risk of any other issues arising if I use the sauna?
Yeah,
If you don't have any risks, right? I think it's a lot easier, right?
for
But
sure.
yeah, you gotta listen to your body, and I think in today's busy society is like you say, how do I make it a routine? How do I make it
Yeah.
easy? How do I make it so there's less friction to say yes?
Yes.
So, if you can bundle it with your workout, if you're already working out, yeah, bundle it in. If you're not working out and you're not using a sauna, well, maybe you do a 10, 15-minute workout, and if you have access to a sauna, and then pair it together. So
Yes. So it's still only 30 minutes.
yeah, I think for most people, you don't need an extra trip, right?
Yeah,
It's causing
absolutely
more
not.
friction, right?
Yeah. And most people don't have the time. So it's
Yes.
like, how do you make it as easy as possible? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's honestly like having a gym buddy or having friends who are doing it or finding a gym that's close to you. Or
Yeah.
maybe there's honestly what I've been seeing pop up a lot is sauna. Like there's like this crazy thing where it's like sauna cold plunge like memberships.
Yes. I've seen
I don't know
those
if
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
where like you can pay and like hop into saunas and like they have cold exposure too, and like you pay a monthly fee or whatever. Might be worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's got their own thing. The
Yeah.
main point of the health is wealth is just to provide another resource and another perspective and another way. Because in all honesty, it helps me, it helps Sang understand what we're really looking at and like why health is so important. Because in reality, we all want to achieve this big business goal or these things and all of this. And if our health's not there, nothing's there. So it's like, why not focus and take this moment? If you listen this far, why not focus on your health? Why not make the change before there's a real scare ahead of you? And like, it's like no one makes it out alive. So you might as well feel good along the way because the other mentioned thing you mentioned saying, which I think is really important, is feelings. So like when people drink, when people smoke, when people run, when people do saunas, they're all just chasing a feeling. We don't view it that way. We go, drinking's fun, or we go, this is chill, or this is whatever, but we're all just chasing a feeling. So note that when we can manipulate our feelings through the way we feel through a sauna, it's like the cheapest way to feel amazing. And it's so easy. So I ask you,
Yeah.
yeah, why don't you do it?
Yeah. 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 So, I think it's being really honest with yourself and being aware of how you tick, right?
Yes.
So once you understand how to hack yourself and your behaviors, right?
Yeah.
So for me, um, you know, let's go back to the cold showers, and then I'm gonna, now that I've got that, very much down, and I really hate it. But one of the things I say to myself, and I've learned this through Tony, is I use the words I am. So I say, so I take my warm shower, right, and clean myself off, and then I say, I am the effing Iceman, Wim Hof. I am the Iceman, and then two of those, and then I turn it to cold, and I focus on my breath.
Yeah.
Right? 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. I do 3 and 3. That way, I count to 60 times 3 seconds. So there's my 3 minutes. So I don't
Oh,
have to
wow.
count the 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, my brain goes, oh my God, that's a lot. But 60 seconds, right? I count to 60
Yeah.
with 3 second exhales, then I get my 3 minutes, right? So I know,
Wow.
like, I can trick my brain that way because I know counting the 3 minutes is going to be tough, or 180.
Yeah.
It's easier to count to 60. So I've learned how to trick myself of uncomfortable things, and you know yourself best, and be honest with yourself, and you can figure out how to do these things. It's just like my 4 second rule, right? Or
Yeah.
4 minute rule. Just do it for 4 seconds and then you're okay. Or just work out for 4 minutes. Just walk for
Yeah.
4 minutes. That's all I want you to do. Right. So there's this internal dialogue. Oh, I don't want to work out. I don't want to work out. And then Happy Sang says, all it takes is 4 minutes. You're
Yeah.
such a wussy. 4 minutes. I don't want to work out. No, 4 freaking minutes. Okay,
Yes.
I can do 4 minutes. Any Jamoki can do
Yes.
4 minutes, right? And then I go and work out, even though my brain said I don't want to.
Yeah. And then
So
once you're in the 4 minutes, you're moving and grooving.
yeah,
And
then you feel great. You change your physiology, you change your
yes.
state.
Yes.
So that's for me, that works. And even
Yeah.
though I have this internal dialogue, it works.
But it's super important because the more times we prove to ourselves that we can do it,
Yes.
then we start to understand who we really are and what we're capable of. Because there's so many of us that we just get bogged down by life. We are not inspired. We're not proud of what we're doing. And if you can just prove to yourself, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and
Yeah.
actually do it, you're building confidence in who you are and your word of what you're going to do. Because there's
Yeah.
so many of us who say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And they just don't follow through. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to tell you, but like that is a terrible character trait. And that needs to be improved upon because the words you say and the things you say you're going to do, you should hold those true.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't, what ends up happening is that you start criticizing and judging yourself, and then your focus goes towards failure and not accomplishing something and not trusting yourself and not following through. And the more you do that, you start to ruminate
Yeah.
on the fact that you're not good enough. And all these primal fears that I'm not loved, I'm not good enough starts to circulate, and you start to ruminate, and then you don't trust yourself. And then you reduce your own self confidence in yourself. And really it's say what you're going to do and do what you're going to say, you know,
Yeah. It changes
right?
everything.
It
And
does.
yeah, absolutely. Saying this has been amazing. Where can people learn more about you? And then we'll also just saunas. Like we got to figure out where people can get these saunas too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't done a great job on social media, but I've been inspired just recently to do that. You know, from you, Jordan, and some other friends. Yeah, I'm at on Instagram. I'm Sang Kim at Sang Kim Official, and
Yeah,
then I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, you've inspired me to get our messaging out. Even more, and just sharing our journey and our experiences. And hopefully it's inspired somebody to take a look at saunas and make it an option.
Absolutely. I hope you guys are able to do a sauna and maybe one day saying we could do this from a sauna. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely, man.
but either way, I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this to everyone. It's always super valuable. And guys, remember, go out and sauna. Like we're not selling anything. We just want to share the information because we know if it's just kept with us, it does nothing. We need to share this information. If we have something valuable, you all need to share that information. So I want to thank you guys for listening, and I think this was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Jordan. And I always enjoy having a chat with you, right? And just sharing. This is awesome. I love this platform.
Thank you for reaching the end of the podcast. For that, we'll give you a complimentary coaching session in the link below with Edwards Consulting. Hope to see you there and have a great day and keep clocking in.